Hey YouTube, how's it going? Red Baron here, flying at you with another video. I decided to start a brand new series where once a week, every Monday, I'll spotlight and break down decks made by either the top players or viewers such as yourselves. So if you love your deck and you think it's great and are interested in getting it spotlighted in a future episode, go ahead and post your deck down below in the comments or direct message me on Discord. With that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so here we are with our first deck breakdown for the series. It is none other than Thunder Beatdown. So, this deck provides a ton of utility. You have a lot of cards that search, a lot of cards that like help deck thin. And if you haven't realized already, this is kind of similar to the deck that I'm actually running in the Elestrals Champion League currently. So let's get down into it. Let's go through all the Elestrals. While they're being run, we'll go through the basic invokes, we'll go through the counter runes, and then we'll go from there. So here we have the base set of Elestrals for our deck. We have triple Elechick, triple Jolton, triple Sparkit, triple Toxian, and triple Astrabbit. Everybody's here. So let's break down. So why are we running each card? What are the advantages, disadvantages, and go from there. So, as you can see, each Elestral base stat attack is 4. Is good, is fine. So, even though Thunder currently has no 5 attack Elestrals, but it can easily get there. Thunder is the only deck which has access to a Stadium Searcher. Is Jolton. Jolton right here. It'll allow you to get your Stadium, play it, and all of a sudden your opponent is facing down the barrel of a gun and they have to deal with nothing but 5 attacks. And currently, stadiums, I feel like stadiums aren't seeing enough play. They definitely should be seeing play, and Jolton is the way to do that. You also have Elechick that gets you access to possibly the strongest Divine Runes. And with that combination, you'll be able to get almost over any Elestral your opponent throws at you. Even the other day, I was playing against a Pantera deck, and I was able to flip it into defense mode and then double Zeus. Had 2 Zeuses on the field. I disenchanted from each of them, and then this little guy, this Elechick, this 4 attacker, was able to attack over a 15 attack, 8 defense Pantera. So, what else do we have? We also have triple Toxian. Now, Toxian is, in my opinion, it's not the best Thunder, because I believe Astrabbit and Sparkit are probably a little bit above it, but it is definitely my favorite. Toxian is very spicy play. So, why do I enjoy Toxian so much? Immediately, right when you play it, it deals 1 damage. It's the burn. It's very consistent for a 4-2 and burns your opponent for 1. Amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And if you want to next turn, you can re-enchant it and burn them for more. And it also combos off with Ult to the Stars, which was... Next, we have Astrabbit. Astrabbit is almost, you could say, the bread and butter of the deck. It is one of the strongest Thunder Elestrals here. If it receives a Spirit Thunder Elestral, you're able to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, choose one, add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. And when you look and add to your hand, you don't have to show your opponent. So your opponent's always guessing what you added. It's great utility, and it allows you to further deck thin your deck. So you have deck thin Elechick, deck thin Jolton, deck thin Astrabbit. With all these cards, you're constantly searching through your deck to be able to get better cards, to get your back row. So let's move on to Sparkit over here. Sparkit, 3 of almost. If you're running Mono Thunder, it is darn right mandatory to run 3 of these. This card is just great. Has one of the strongest Nexus abilities. It is perfect. Just pop off one of these bad boys at the very beginning of the game. Turn 1, you're able to look at your opponent's hand. And not only that, you're able to discard a card. So this allows you to, 1, lower the hand size of your opponent, and 2, gives you hand knowledge. Hand knowledge is important It allows you to set up for next turn, allows you to know what your opponent's going to do, so on and so forth. Our boss monster for the deck has to be Sonic Core, right? So the meta currently is back row, back row, back row, with a lot of back row flowing out there. Sonic Core just says no to all of it. Of course, you should be careful when playing your own Sonic Core because it means you can't play your own counter runes. So these are all the Elestrals. This is really great. You do have other Thunder Elestrals out there. You have Amp Up. Its utility is interesting, but it doesn't really quite scream good. You discard it, you expend one, discard it, and add 2 more to your hand. Other than that, it's quite useless. You kind of just use it as a beat stick. It won't progress the board state. It won't really do much of anything. You also have 2 cost Elestrals. You have Gatavolt, and you also have unfortunately I forgot the name of it, but it also have Amp Up's 2 cost Ascension, Lycavolt. Excuse me, Lycavolt. There you go. You also have Lycavolt. Lycavolt is interesting. I would love to get it to work for a fun deck. So if you have a fun Lycavolt deck, send it my way, and I'll give it a spotlight. So there we have it. That's the main core, the core Elestrals for this deck. So let's move on to basic spells and see what my counter rune setup is like. Alright, so here we have our basic, almost mandatory spells and invokes. So as you can see here, we're running double Mount Olympus and double Zeus. Now you might be asking, why aren't you running 3? If they're so good, why aren't you running 3? Because you don't need 3. You have 3 Elechics which search, and you have 3 Joltons which also search, so you pretty much have 5 ways of getting Olympus. You can have 5 Olympuses in your deck and 5 Zeuses in your deck. So, let's go over what each card does. A Mount Olympus does the same thing, almost same thing every other stadium does. For each Elestral, they get +1 attack and defense for each Thunder Enchanted Spirit on them. This is great. This makes your whole entire deck 5 attackers. Except for Astrabbit, which gives it a big old 6 defense, which currently nothing can get over. It's great. You can just sit back on it and you can help prep for your future turns. Now you have Zeus. I mentioned this earlier, but Zeus is the best divine rune out there. Now there's debates about whether the Zeus or Demeter is the best, but I personally 100% think Zeus is better. Why? Excuse me, even before that, you might be even thinking, well, don't Demeter and Zeus technically do the same thing? Demeter gives you +3/+3, and Zeus minuses your opponent -3/-3. Well, the thing is, no, they're not the same. So say you boost you have Demeter, right? You boost one of your Elestrals up +3/+3, and you try to attack. Your opponent can either shield it, or Gorgon's Gaze it, or Tsunami. So, and then what happens? That's it. You've lost your buff for the turn. Now, if you have Zeus and you disenchant it to target opponent's Celestial, and you yourself have like two or 3 Elestrals, and you -3/-3 your opponent's Celestial and you attack. Even if your opponent shields or GG's that Elestral, you still can attack again and nothing has changed. Your opponent's Celestial is still -3/-3. Now, if they play Tsunami, well, that is what it is, because Tsunami just puts everything in defense mode. But that is why Zeus is the best divine rune right now. And also Zeus will pair a Spark It with the altar that you will see. Now, as you can see, we aren't running any Nectar of the Gods. None. Why? Because we have 3 searchers in our deck. We have 9 cards that can help deck thin. We have Astrabbit, which kind of does the same thing as Nectar of the Gods, and it's cheaper. Allows you to look at the top 3, add 1. Nog draws 2. Or 2. So Astrabbit could just be a better Nog. We also have Elechic and Zoltan that help deck thin, which will help you get those cards that you need, those back row support. It's just not needed. You also have, we have triple Ambrosia here, which is good. Allows you to get the spirits back. And you also have triple Thunderstorm here. Now, I can probably make a video about this later, but I personally think Thunderstorm is best back row removal currently. A lot of people will probably disagree with me. A lot of people will be like, what about Tornado? Tornado is a 1-drop that bounces back Spell Rune. Now, in terms of getting rid of Divine Runes, I agree with this. I agree with the bouncing back Divine Runes with Tornado is better than a Thunderstorm, because it's just cheap removal. But in the long run, Tornado, I think, is just bad compared to Thunderstorm, because Thunderstorm permanently gets rid of their back row, just destroys it no matter what it is. But if you Tornado back row, you'll just see it next turn. And with them, your opponent can just bluff. They can put back like some Ambrosias, or they'll put back like an Earthquake or something like that. And if you Tornado it, that doesn't affect your opponent at all. They just made you waste a Tornado. Whereas if you Thunderstorm that bluff, whether it's Ambrosia or an Earthquake, you're fine with that. You're fine with completely destroying that Earthquake. Even if this Thunderstorm costs 1 extra, it is completely better, in my opinion, to get rid of the card rather than prolong it. So those are the invokes and the stadiums and the Divine Runes. Let's see what my back row looks like. Here you can see the most staple of cards. We have triple Gorgon's Gaze, triple Poison Tipped Arrow, triple Tsunami, double Shield of Achilles, and double Altar of the Stars. Now, most of these are your basic package. You have the trifecta here, or a quadfecta, I should say. These are your top 4 counter runes that should see in every deck, and you should be playing them yourself. Now, the spicy tech of choice here is Altar of the Stars. So Altar of the Stars, you can Nexus, and if you do, you change the position of an Elestral. There's so many plays with Altar of the Stars. It is crazy. First off, it synergizes great with Toxian. If you Nexus onto Toxian while protecting it at the same time, you burn them and stop their attack because you change their opponent's position defense mode. Now, of course, Altar of the Stars requires a little setup. Either you need to have a second Elestral on the field, you'll either need to have a Stadium, or you need to have Zeus. And that's why we're only running 2 of these. But it's great, the combos you can pull. It is such a lovely feeling when you can just summon Toxian, Nexus onto it for 2 damage, and then possibly get in 2 more damage. I mean, the ideas are crazy. This is a great card, very spicy card. If you haven't played around with Altar of the Stars yet, I would suggest you do so. So, that's pretty much the deck breakdown. This is Thunder Beatdown. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you want your own deck to be highlighted, spotlighted, either DM me or put it in your comments down below. And like and subscribe for more future content. Bye, hi.